from closed session. I'm looking for a motion to approve the strategy decided upon in the closed session.
I will make the motion to approve the strategy we decided upon.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll take it to a vote. Brooke?
Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
Ms. Turner,
Aye.
Mr. House,
Aye.
Ms. Martinez,
Aye.
and Mr. Cox.
Aye. The Board of the RDA of Murray City just met in closed session to discuss the purchase of real property. We met in closed session to avoid disclosing the estimated value of property or other items related to the real estate transaction to ensure that the RDA can complete a transaction with the best possible terms. After discussion, the board approved having the staff proceed with the strategy negotiated the best possible terms and for the real estate transaction. And with that, we'll move to the next item agenda, which is project updates. Melinda.
Okay, so I'll just go over real quickly what I provided to you with the memo in the project update memo in the packet. We have made a little bit of progress on the cell phone tower relocation, and Verizon right now is installing their equipment onto the new array at the new site. We did also yesterday receive the building plans to review for the T-Mobile portion that will be coming after the Verizon portion is installed. So that's a little bit of progress. And then, let's see, with the project over here at 48th and State Street, we have worked with a geotechnical firm to do a geotech study. They'll probably be starting on that now, it looks like next week. That'll be one of the pieces that Eadlin will need to move forward with designing their project so they can understand the soils and what they can build on, how the parking structure can be designed and those types of things. And that will then enable them to move forward with the next steps of the project that then we'll bring back for discussion in the next couple of months to have the public give some input on that. The Jesse Knight Legacy Center continues to work with the state on their materials management plan, their MMP that they have to submit to the State Department of Environmental Quality. And I think that should be submitted to them right now. It'll take the state up to about 45 days to review that. There may be some back and forth, but they're hoping that they'll be able to get a land disturbance permit in the next couple of months to move forward with starting to clean up the site over there. And then Think Architecture, we're still waiting on the cost assessment to come back from the Brownfields grant to determine how much the contamination remediation will cost for that site. And then once we have that number, we'll start working with Think Architecture again to come up with a purchase agreement to sell that property to them and figure out the best path forward to get that developed and to get the site cleaned up. So that's really all I have. If there's any questions on that or any other projects.
Melinda, would you remind me where the Think Architecture site is?
Okay, so the Think Architecture site is directly south of the new fire station, and the new cell phone tower is kind of in the middle of that site.
Okay.
So there's, so it's north of 5th Avenue, right? And then on the west side of Box Elder, just south of the fire department.
Do you know how large the building is going to be at this point?
They were looking at, it has to be a 3-story building. It's been so long, I don't remember, but
Okay.
the site itself is only going to be about a half acre, so it won't be a huge building just because of the size of the parcel that's left.
I'd kind of forgotten about that, so thanks.
Yeah, I
for-
know, I know. They're the forgotten child, but I'll get some more information in my memo for next month to include a little bit more details on the anticipated project size.
Great, and thank you for the memo. That's really helpful.
You're welcome. welcome. Any other questions? Okay,
No other questions? Okay, the meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
okay.
All right.
Hello, I'm Blair Camp, Mayor of Murray City.
Hey, I'm here, but I need to go ahead.
Great.
Hi.
All right, welcome. This is the Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole. It's 5:30, and I have a statement to read. Public notice is hereby given that this meeting will occur electronically.
Okay, I'm not.
This meeting will occur. Oh, we're having sound problems. Is that okay? Okay. Will occur electronically without an anchor location in accordance with Utah Code 52-4-2074 due to infectious disease COVID-19 novel coronavirus. The council chair has determined that conducting a meeting with an anchor location presents substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location because physical distancing measures may be difficult to maintain in the Murray City Council chambers. The public may view the meeting via the live stream at www.murraycitylive.com or www.facebook.com/Murray City, Utah, and Murray is capitalized, and /. Okay. The meeting agenda. First is the approval of minutes, but I guess I ought to say that all council members are present, and Rosalba Dominguez joins us via Zoom. Welcome, Rosalba. And
Hi,
so,
sorry, it was on mute there for a second, so I couldn't hear anything you were saying.
oh, I just said that all council members are present and that you join us via Zoom. So our first business item is approval of minutes for the Committee of the Whole for February 16th, 2021. Are there any questions or changes? If not, then I would appreciate a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 16th, 2021.
I'll second.
All right. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Sure. Mr. House,
Aye.
Ms. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
and Ms. Turner.
Aye. All right, we have 3 discussion items on the agenda today. The first is a report from the Murray City Youth Council, Sherry Van Bibber. Sherry, welcome. Are you there, Sherry?
You're on mute, Sherry.
Sherry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey. Hi,
Welcome.
everyone. I was trying to get in with you all. Thank you. The kids are all writing. I think we've got some kids online. They're all in meetings, competitions and stuff. Like literally all of our presidency right now. They sent me notes that they wanted to share. We wanted to thank you. We wanted to let you know what we're doing and that we're out here doing.
All right.
If that's okay. They are so grateful that you guys included us in your budget. It made a huge difference, especially of all years this year. Just to give you a quick, because I know my time is short, is just to give you a quick of what we do like on a yearly basis. June, we do the golf tournament with the chamber to raise funds for the students, for the scholarships. July, and for nonprofits. July, we do the parade, we do a fundraiser, face paint. August, we recruit, we plan what we're gonna do for the following year. September, we prep for the Haunted Woods. That's our big one. Thank you, Kim Sorensen and Murray City for that one. I think this will be year number 6. We
Wow.
did, 2 years ago, we did almost $20,000.
Whoa.
And we turn that back over to nonprofits like that have to do with the prevention of child abuse and domestic violence survivors. So we work with all of the cities, all of the exchange clubs come in and help run that. The students all help run that. It's huge. You guys know. The city knows. Kim still won't take it back. We keep trying to talk him into that, but he's yet to fold. So October takes a ton. November, we work on Get the Vote Out. Also in the summertime, we work on primary day and running a debate for those who are running and getting the citizens to be able to meet who's running in the primary. December, they did a gift wrap fundraiser this year and raised about $500. In January, we usually have legislation day down at the Capitol. We work a lot with Jean David and Carol Spackman Moss, and we work with all of our legislators that's work with Murray. They're fabulous to include the kids. They check them for tours. This year was really hard not to be down there. We were down there last year. February, our plan was, and we have done in the past years, we work with CERT, we work with George Zaboral, and do the Community Emergency Response Team for Youth. I trained with a Detroit group to be able to take that program down to the youth age. And so we put that together, George and I, so that we could train as many kids with that. We write grants and get them backpacks and things so that they'll be able to take care of their neighborhood when that happens, when that happens. March, we usually are prepping to go to USU for Leadership Council and conference, and that's a 3-day conference. And we compete with all the other city council groups in the state. We have won that in the past. Of course, we didn't do that last year or this year, so we're not doing that. We worked with the Rotary Club on Saturday. We had about 20 kids out doing, the Rotary Club called and said, we have 10 sites, we're giving you 3. We're giving you Murray Park, Murray High School, and the Police Training Center. So we had a really good turnout for that. In April, right now, we're hoping that we're gonna be doing the prevention of child abuse, planting the pinwheels and promoting the prevention of child abuse and working in the resources that we have in the city that are out there for those needs. May, we're putting together a graduation project. All of our seniors, we have a red cord that all of the seniors will get for graduation for their humanitarian service and their hours of service that they've put in. Just the Haunted Woods alone is about 2,000 hours. And then they put together, we have a couple things going in March. They have made these, they've sewed these little packs. We did them for the fire department. We did them for the police department. Now they wanted to do it for their teachers this year. And we're going to fill them with rice. And it's thanks for taking the heat is what they're going to say in their little heat packs. So they're making 250 of those. All the while, all during the year, they're running blood drives for the Red Cross. And they're also volunteering for the Red Cross, putting in fire alarms with the fire department. And they're also working and volunteering to check people in at the blood drives. And they're doing their own blood drives. We actually had a student win a scholarship that was running a blood drive this year too. So we have that going. And then we started the Murray Children's Food Pantry. So the kids are all involved in collecting for that all year long, and helping go and stack and collect and rotate the food and pack. We do about 4,600 bags a month per family. So kids are all involved in that all along the way. Wow. I was going to see if I missed anything because March on, we're slammed. Yeah, and I think we got just about everything in there.
I'm exhausted
questions?
just listening to you. Oh
that
my
true?
goodness. You guys are wonderful.
You gotta wear your Fitbit and keep up with them. But it's really, people say, why do you want to get the kids involved in government? And we all met in August down near the rec center at the pavilion, and we all sat outside in our face masks. And I don't share my views, but I listen to them, and with the mask and with school, and it just really gave these kids an avenue to say their thoughts and say what they think. And we're like, why do we want to get kids involved in politics? We're like, look at what's going on now. We need the kids to be, they hate the bullying, they hate the negativeness, and they want cohesiveness. And yet, so it's just kind of really fun to listen to them and what they want, and the positive energy. I told them the day we don't have students that want to do this is the day that, I'm done. But every year we just have an amazing group of kids pop up.
Wow. Are there any questions or comments?
Just
for
a
Sherry?
statement, Sherry. We love you. You are just amazing what you do. I watch you. I know a lot that you're doing anyway, but I watch you on Facebook, and I'm telling you, like Diane said, you wear the heck out of us. You make us exhausted what you guys do. So a big thanks to you and to all the youth, the students. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's all the kids.
Yeah, I echo what Brett says. You are a lot of fun, and you take that across to the kids, and that's why it's so successful. Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you guys. Thanks for helping us.
Just to echo what they said, you are a model of service, and thank you for teaching children how to do that and for everything you do in our community.
Oh, you're very kind. I'm just the hot air underneath. They're the ones with the wings that take off. So, and the city is the ones that help let us do what we do, and motivate the kids, and the kids feel a part of the community because they're a part of you guys. For them to know that we have commissions and what commissions are, and who their representative is and what district they live in. Most of the kids, no one knows that. So we want them to grow up learning that and being a part of that. So thank you.
Yes, you and
Sherry.
your.
Oh, sorry,
Yes, Rosalba.
Diane.
Sure.
I was just going to ask, how many seniors do you have graduating this year?
How many seniors? I think that we have the most we've ever had. I think we have about 10.
That's awesome.
I know. I had to go round up 12 cords for them. And they love the cords. Murray High doesn't let them have the cords, but we give them anyway.
And my last question to you, and I do appreciate all the service. I was a product of youth city government in Salt Lake when I went to judge. So I know how important it is to be a part of a program like this and have leadership like you. But how can we help? Like, if you can have a call of action from us, what could that be for you to continue to support you in your service and the kids as well?
It'll be really nice one day when we can come in and they can actually sit down with you guys face to face and know who their districts are and meet their district leaders. I think that would be, and I really would like to I want them to know who the commissions are, what the boards are, and if they have an interest in that they could sit in on and watch a meeting or be a part of that. So that they know we have traffic and safety. I had no idea what planning and zoning was. And, 10 years after being on it, I figured I know what it is. At least I have a definition of it. But to be a part of the city and things like that, and to know what that is in high school, I think is so much. I would have gone a whole different direction. I absolutely love planning and zoning. And so I think I would have taken a whole different direction in my life had I known about that. So I just think these kids having that face-to-face has been, we are Murbury RFD, and those kids are just, they've always felt connected to our mayor and to our city council. And I just think having that relationship.
Well, even with COVID and even now, I think I can arrange, I'm going to speak for myself and not the rest of the council, but I would love to arrange to meet with any kids at any given time, even if it's via Zoom. So you're more than welcome to set that up with me, Sherry, anytime.
That would be great. It would be super fun to probably put a Zoom together of each person in your district and explain about your district, and then have, the kids be able to see that, where I can at least take that little video to the kids so they can figure out and know their districts. So that would be good. It was fun this year trying to work on getting the vote out, getting people voting. And we were working on getting the seniors, as many seniors as we could, to get to where we could get as many people voting as possible.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you so much for everything that you do for them and
Thanks
all
for
your energy.
It takes blood pressure medication and the caffeine.
Sherry,
Thank you guys. Thanks for
and
what you do. Thanks for what you do for us.
we'll see you at the next meeting.
It's a date. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye,
Sherry.
guys.
All right, our next discussion item is discussion on the Municipal Wastewater Planning Program, which is acronym MWPP report. Danny Astle and Ben Ford. Danny?
Well, thank you so much for some time this evening. I'm actually going to turn the time over to Ben to have him explain what the MWPP is. So go ahead, Ben.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen here.
Welcome, Ben.
So just kind of a brief summary on the report. It's the Municipal Wastewater Planning Program report. This is a report that we're required to submit to the Division of Water Quality every year. Certain requirements behind it, kind of gives an overall general financial health of where the wastewater fund is. We give an update on our sanitary sewer management plan as part of this report, and if it's being followed, if there's any recommendations or changes we need to make with that. And it identifies if we have any SSOs, sanitary sewer overflows within the year. We have to spell that out within this report. And then goes over our capacity assurance and hydraulic modeling as well, and if we're keeping up to date with that. So we'll kind of go through everything, and if you have any questions at the end, more than happy to answer them. So first page, just kind of general information. A lot of this is kind of vanilla basic stuff. So I'll hit on just the real high points. So I'm the main contact with the state for this report. There's all my contact information. There's the 5 different sections of the report. So I filled this report out with some help from Danny and Brenda review the finance questions in here as well. So just the general questions. Yes, we have a dedicated account for our wastewater fund. We're collecting more than 95% of the anticipated revenue, and our reserve funds are being met. The annual user charge was $439.80, and that comes out to, it's about $36 a month is what the average user's bill is right now. And we do not have a customer assistance program currently. So this next page, basically, do we have enough sufficient funds to cover ourselves in the future? Do we have, so we don't have a dedicated replacement and sinking fund, but we do have our cash reserve and reserve funds, and that's kind of why that's what that's considered. So basically, we do have sufficient funding to keep funding the division. This page covers the capital revenues. Basically, kind of the same thing. Do we have sufficient funding to cover our capital projects that are coming for the next 5, 10 years? So we're currently in the process of doing a rate study to help further define this as well. So right now, our like I just said, our last rate study was done in 2017, and we're currently in the process of doing a new rate study with Hanson Allen Luce and Zions Bake, and as well as an update to our master plan. Both of those were last done in 2017. So currently doing the rate study. Yes, we charge impact fees. We have a current plan of operations, and we have updated our capital facility plan. We're in the process of updating that as we speak. And should have something to share with council and the mayor within the coming months on both those. So this next page, basically we use spreadsheets, GIS, CityWorks software to identify all of our assets and track all of the work that we do. The number for the 2020 replacement cost, the $6,875,000, that comes from all of our equipment, basically all of our capital assets, equipment, vehicles, and our 3 lift stations that we currently operate. Nothing else too much on these next questions. We'll go to the next page. So this next page, this is projecting what our funding is going to look like for capital projects in the coming years. This is a pretty good ballpark number, and what it's going to be used for. So from the initial results of our master plan, a lot of our development and projects in the coming years are going to be driven by redevelopment and where redevelopment comes in and how that's going to affect the system. So there's quite a few areas that are identified within our master plan, and that will really determine when those plans come in and when redevelopment occurs, where that funding is going to go and what projects will take precedence. So this next section is just kind of a basic overview of our system. Our largest pipe in the system is 48 inches. We have 133 miles of pipe and currently operate 3 lift stations. Our Fairborn lift station takes in a good majority of the east side of the city, goes to the Fairborn lift station. That's our largest. And our daily peak flows, they do not exceed by 100% or more. So kind of some more of the collection system in general. Was first put in 1917. We do have some older parts of the system, and 1972 is when the largest diameter pipe was installed. So this next section goes into discharges, SSOs. There's 2 classifications of sanitary sewer overflows. The class 1 is the most significant. You can see the justifications for those. If it's more than 5,000 gallons, if it affects more than 5 structures. We haven't had any of those, luckily. We've been good with that. We did have a class 2 within the system, and that was due to a contractor on 5300 South in July bored through one of the sewer lines. That break, it remained inside the trench. It didn't exit the trench, but did damage. They had to repair the pipe, restore the pipe, but that was obviously the fault of the contractor, not following blue stakes. This next page, so we've had 58 new residential connections within the last year, and most of that is contributed to Murray Cove Hamlet Home development that was finishing up on 4800 South, and then the Wynwood subdivision, and 11 lots in the Callaway subdivision as well contributed to that. We have not had any new developments that will increase our so the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand flow loadings, by 25%. So nothing that would affect us there. And the equivalent new ERUs within the system is 64 this year as compared to last year. So we have a class 3, grade 3 system. So we have to have a minimum of grade 3 operators, and we have, I'm listed as the DRC operator, the chief operator of the system. So our minimum is class 3. We have six total operators that are DRC certified within the system, and then we have 3 other operators as well that are not DRC certified. One grade 4 and 1 grade 2 system. So over certified for our system, but that's a good thing. So this next one kind of goes over the sanitary sewer management plan a little bit. Basically outlines, do we have written response plans? Are we following those response plans? And do we have written safety plans for the system, which we do in all of those. As far as the GIS mapping, we have 100% of our system mapped. As soon as we have a new subdivision or something gets noticed, when we're out TVing or cleaning, that immediately gets put on a list to get updated. With the sanitary sewer management plan evaluation, we do have a management plan that gets audited every year. On this next page here, so it was public noticed in 2015. As part of that, we have to audit at least a quarter of the plan every year. We try and do a full audit of the plan every year, and this year was probably the most extensive. but still the whole body of the plan hasn't changed. Just kind of some key with the creation of the superintendent position and a few other minor changes. It was really just some wording changes, a few minor things. We bought a new SLRAT tool that helps us identify deteriorated pipes in the system, and we had to add that to the operations portion of the plan last year as well. And we have completed a CCAT plan. That's part of our evaluation that we're going through with Hanson Elm Luce currently. So the physical condition of the system, like I said earlier, it is a little bit of an older system, but we have it fairly identified of where our trouble areas are that get maintained on a regular basis, depending on the severity of them. So that kind of just spells this out. And as I spoke to before, a lot of the improvements that will be upcoming in the next 5 to 10 years will be development driven. So that's kind of what that is stating there. We're continuing to manhole rehab and pipe rehab with lining as well. What else on this? So the biggest issues within the system that we come into are root intrusion and fog, which is fat oils and grease. So those are the big things that we have to try and identify where those areas are and keep those maintained so it doesn't cause us any issues. The last question on here, does the district pay for CEU credits for the operators? And we pay for those 100%. And we do not have a written policy for those, but we do encourage further schooling and offer the tuition assistance program. So that is really, these last 2 pages are just when will it be submitted. So obviously it's being presented to you guys tonight, and then we hope for an approval in the April council meeting. And that is really all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
All right. Sounds like you're doing a good job, Ben. Thank you. Any questions for Ben from the council?
No, just a big thanks. Thank you, Ben and Danny.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll go to the discussion on park impact fees. Kim Sorensen.
Okay, thanks, council. It's good to see you again. So let me just explain how we got to this point where we're discussing park impact fees. You may remember that a year ago we adopted a new Parks and Recreation master plan. During the process of adopting the Parks and Recreation master plan, funding sources was discussed. And one funding source that is available that the city of Murray does not take advantage of is a park impact fee. So I've spent some time studying impact fees, park impact fees, and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board discussed park impact fees a few months ago. And they gave a unanimous support of park impact fees. And that's why I'm here tonight, is to discuss park impact fees with you and get your, obviously you wouldn't be voting on anything today, but to get your support or your direction on park impact fees. So let me just talk a little bit about what we're looking at. So I've given you 3 charts in your packets. The first chart is fees charged by other cities. And you will notice that all of the cities surrounding Murray, with the exception of Midvale, have a park impact fee. I will also tell you that Mill Creek and South Salt Lake are in the process of increasing their park impact fee. Also, you were given a chart that shows the last 5 years of growth in Murray City, including single family, multifamily, and accessory dwelling units. And then the final chart that you have is a chart that shows what Murray City would have collected had we had a park impact fee the last 5 years. Now there's 3 different categories of fees. I've tried to calculate low and then a medium and then the high level for each. So with that, let me quickly just talk about the basics on park impact fees. So what is a park impact fee? It is a one-time fee imposed by the city on new construction of residential properties. The developer or builder would pay this fee at the application process when they pick up their permit. Now, one question that most people have said, well, who really pays for this fee? Does that mean that our home prices rise because of a park impact fee? And I don't know that we know the answer to that, but real estate people have told me that no, that's not the case, because the price of our homes in Murray are determined by the market value. And that market value is determined by a lot of different things, including the accessibility to parks. So obviously somebody has to pay for it. Is it the developer or is it the person that sells the raw land? And we don't know the answer to that. But the fee is based. It's important to understand that the fee is based on providing the same level of service to new development that the city is currently providing. So what can fees not be used for? So park impact fees cannot be used for operation and maintenance of current or future park facilities or amenities. Fees cannot be used to pay employees. Fees cannot be used to renovate or improve current facilities. Fees cannot be used to increase our current service level. What can fees be used for, park impact fees? They can be used to add new parks or increase capacity in our facilities to serve new development. For example, we could purchase land, we could build new amenities such as trails, parks, athletic fields, pickleball courts, etc. Fees can also be used to expand current facilities to meet increased demand because of growth. How are fees calculated? So the first thing that we need to do to calculate a park impact fee is a current master plan. Well, we adopted a current master plan last year. So if we're going to consider park impact fees, now is the time where our master plan is current. We then must hire an outside consultant, an impact fee consultant. That consultant will determine the current value of park and recreation assets. Now these assets are calculated at today's value, and they cannot include property or amenities that were funded by others. Anything funded by grants, by donations, cannot be included in our the value of our current park property. Then they calculate the current level of service for parks, whether it be, well, they'll look at park acreage per 1,000 people, miles of trails, number of pickleball courts, number of tennis courts, basketball courts, acreage of green space, soccer fields. So it's a very detailed list of everything that we currently have. They then look at growth projection. Once this is all determined, the impact fee is formulated. Let me back up. The maximum impact fee is formulated by the cost of future projects divided by the number of additional residents times by the number of occupants in each home. And currently Murray, the average home in Murray has 2.58, I think it was, residents. And that determines the maximum. It's important to understand that it determines the maximum impact fee that you can charge. From there, it's a policy decision by the city as to what percentage of the new growth the park impact fee would pay for. Once that's all determined, the process would be the city determines what the fee would be based on the total amount, the total dollar value of providing new parkland for new residents. A public hearing would be held. The council would then be asked to adopt the park impact fee. If that was adopted, then we would have a 90-day period where the park impact fee would not be charged. This would allow those that have developments in the process would not be hurt by the new impact fee. And then impact fees that we collect would need to be spent within 6 years. So that's kind of just a real quick summary of impact fees. I've opened to any questions or discussions. Again, it's discussion only at this point. We're looking to see if the council supports us moving forward with looking at an park impact fee. So anyway, thoughts, questions?
Questions for Kim?
I'm so happy you brought this forward, Kim. I think it's important, especially in the discussions that we're having with growth. It's important to start this discussion. So thank you.
And that's a good point, Rosalba. We are seeing growth. We're seeing growth in high density areas, which means that we may have opportunities to purchase pocket parks or different types of facilities that will give those residents access to parks and recreation.
So ADU units can be assessed as well?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Say that again.
ADU units can be assessed as well. Are they automatically assessed, or is that additional?
Oh, okay.
Accessory dwelling.
No, they can be they can be charged a park impact fee as well. That would be a policy decision that we certainly would look for your direction on if we study a park impact fee. So the answer is yes, they can be assessed the fee as well.
Okay, and can it go towards bike lanes? I think probably not, but I'm just curious.
I don't know the answer to that question. It definitely can go towards trails and bike lanes. I don't know the answer to that. I guess if we included them bike lanes in our parks and recreation amenities now, it could, but we currently don't include bike lanes as a park amenity.
Okay. All right. Other questions for Kim? This would be a brand new thing. I mean, that's...
Yeah. I just want to say thanks for bringing this. I think just to echo Rosalba, with the growth we're having, it makes sense. It's interesting looking at the current fees for other cities, the widespread of the different amounts per city, but it looks like the cities closest to us are all fairly similar, except for Midvale, who doesn't have one. But I'm glad you brought it, and I think one of the things people love about Murray is our beautiful parks and trails, and hoping we can continue to provide enough of that for our growing population.
Yeah, more trails would be awesome. To
Would be
continue
so
the
good.
ones we've got would be wonderful. I know our citizens would love that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Good timing. I agree with everyone that said that. This is the growth is growing or is coming on strong, and everyone sure loves our parks, our trails, everything that we do. So, thanks, Kim.
All right. Didn't take as much time as I thought it would. So thank you, Kim. If there are no other questions, then I will go to Jennifer for announcements.
I don't have any announcements today.
No announcements. All right, then I'll see you all at 6:30. Thank you. Okay, it's 6:30 and time for the Murray City Municipal Council meeting. And I have a statement to read which says, public notice is hereby given that this meeting will occur electronically without an anchor location in accordance with Utah Code 52-4-2074 due to infectious disease COVID-19 novel coronavirus. The council chair has determined that conducting a meeting with an anchor location presents substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location because physical distancing measures may be difficult to maintain in the Murray City Council chambers. The public may view the meeting via the live stream at www.murraycitylive.com or on facebook.com/Murray with a capital M City Utah / Okay, and let's see, I think that's it, right, Jennifer? Okay. So we'll continue and welcome to everybody who is watching us, and also all the council members are present, and Rosalba Dominguez is joining us via Zoom. So welcome, Rosalba. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance, and Council Member Dale Cox has agreed to lead us. So, Dale. All right, thank you, and thanks, Dale. We'll continue on. We have approval of 2 sets of council meeting minutes, one for February 2nd, 2021, and one for February 16th, 2021. So are there any changes or questions from the council regarding these minutes? Hearing none, I would take a motion, and I'm okay to have them both taken together.
I will make a motion to accept council meeting minutes for February 2nd and February 16th, 2021.
I'll second.
Okay, roll. Brooke, would you take the roll, please?
Yes. Mr. Hells,
Aye.
Ms. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
and Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay. The motion passes. Now we are at the time of special recognition. The first one is to consider a joint resolution of the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City, Utah, in support of the Murray Exchange Club by recognizing and declaring April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And Sherry Van Bibber will be presenting. However, to begin with, I will read the joint resolution. It is a joint resolution of the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City, Utah, in support of the Murray Exchange Club by recognizing and declaring April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Murray's greatest asset is our children. All children deserve to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment to assure they reach their full potential. So whereas child abuse is a serious and growing problem affecting over 3 million of our nation's children annually, with over 29,000 cases of child abuse and neglect reported statewide, and 217 cases right here in our city. And whereas this societal malignancy called child abuse respects no racial, religious, socioeconomic, or geographic boundaries, and in fact has been declared a national emergency. And whereas the National Exchange Club has adopted this cause as its national project and is sponsoring parent aid programs, parenting classes, educational programs, and community service activities, and is helping to make significant progress in stopping this crime against families and children. And whereas the Murray Exchange Club members are active and positive participants in the city of Murray in accordance with the standards of the National Exchange Club. And whereas the Murray Exchange Club is anxious and appreciative to share this worthwhile cause and opportunity with Murray City. Now, therefore, as the Mayor and the Murray City Municipal Council, we hereby resolve to recognize and declare April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And we urge all citizens to use this time to better understand, recognize, and respond to this grievous problem. And be it further resolved that in support of the Murray Exchange Club and this worthwhile cause, Murray City will fly the child abuse prevention flag in front of City Hall under our flags from April 1st through April 30th. To promote awareness of child abuse prevention, the Exchange Club will host a gathering in front of City Hall on Monday, March 29th, 2021 at 6:30 to kick off their month-long effort by tying 217 blue ribbons on the trees and placing 217 blue and silver pinwheels in the grass and flower beds, representing the number of all-encompassing cases of child abuse and neglect. So please join them. We are appreciative of the work, care, and concern that our victim advocates, police, and detectives put forth in dealing with these tough cases. It is our hope that those numbers will decrease as families develop healthy, caring, nurturing, and loving relationships. And be it further resolved that we commend the Murray Exchange Club for their continued efforts in helping families break free from this vicious cycle of child abuse. Our nation's greatest asset is our children. All children deserve to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment to assure they reach their full potential. And so I will take a motion for this joint resolution.
I will motion that we approve the joint resolution supporting April 2, 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Let's see. Brooke, would you take the roll, please?
Yeah. Mr. Els,
Aye.
Ms. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
and Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay, this has been passed, approved, and adopted the 16th day of March in the year 2021. Now, Sherry Van Bibber, would you like to speak to this?
I don't know if Jay and everybody else is on. I think that they are also. I just wanted to share. I had a child that was molested here in Murray, and I met with our police department and our victims advocate, and I couldn't be more grateful. To this day, it still has an impact on our family, but the way everybody in the city helped was amazing. And, you know, it's one of those things you just don't want people to know, but we're in Murray and people find out. And the support our family and our child and the school district gave us, the victims advocate throughout that was amazing. So this is something that's especially touching to my heart. I compare these numbers to every year. We're almost about status quo with last year. I thought we'd be higher with the pandemic, but I thought one is too many. 72 abuse and neglect, endangering a child 3, sexual abuse of a child 27, exploitation of a child, we had 5, sexual enticing of a minor 2 over the internet, again, close to my heart, sexual rape of a child 3, pornography 9. You just don't think that happens in Murray. And it's not that we want to put a negative out there. We just want to put out that, you know, we look forward to the day that we don't have one number on here and that we have resources for any families. Thank you. Thank you. Are we okay to plant the pinwheels?
I think so. Mayor, are they okay?
Yes, of course, you can, yes.
So, yes.
We invite you all to bring your kids or whatever. We have enough 6 feet space out there. I have the ribbons. The youth have cut the ribbons, and we've got the pinwheels, and we invite everyone to be a part of that.
Okay, what is the date again?
It is March 29th at 6:30 in the front of City Hall.
All right. Thank you so much, Sherry. By the way, Sherry is part of the Murray Exchange Club. And anyway, are there any comments, any questions?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
Kat.
just wanted to jump in. Training on child abuse and prevention and reporting is part of my responsibility with my day job at the Department of Health. And so I just so appreciate this every year because Sherry is right. One child is too many. Just to any parents or guardians or caregivers that may be tuned in to follow Prevent Child Abuse Utah is an amazing local nonprofit. And if you're on social media, they have amazing resources they share regularly. And just great resources for anyone, or if you're looking to support the work year-round, in addition to the great work the Exchange Club does, to look for them. But I look forward to, I think it's 2 weeks from yesterday, is the 29th on a Monday, and I'll be there with my kiddos, so I look forward to it.
Yay, it's be so different than last year. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll also give a shout out to Sherry for this, and I knew Kat was involved. Thank you so much. Without people like you, this wouldn't be happening. So thank you so much for your support.
Also,
Thank you guys for letting us make it visual to the city.
This is a joint resolution. So, Mayor, do you have anything you would like to say?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for doing this, Sherry. One of the many things that you do, raise awareness. This is such an important topic, and it's an uncomfortable topic people don't want to talk about. And so you just made it look really easy to talk about, and I know it's not. So thank you. We look forward to seeing you here on the 29th.
Sedate, everybody. See you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Stay safe.
Any other
I just
comments?
wanted to add, we have our own issues going on with child abuse in our own home. And I just want to say, for anybody that is watching, whether you're a child or a parent, this issue affects everyone. And if you see something, contact someone, even as a child, or you feel unsafe, please contact someone, even contact Sherry. I'm sure she would help you through the process in any way. And it's important that we do talk about it, as uncomfortable as it may be. And it's really uncomfortable for me, as it affects our home and our kids. So I just want you all to know, whoever is watching, that it is something very important to us in the council and the city, and it's important to Sherry. And I thank you so much for all that you do. And I know Matt and you have worked together so closely, and he just admires you, and he knows that what you're doing is very important. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you all for all your support. Your family, your extended family. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Okay, our next special recognition is City Council Employee of the Month. And this month it is April Calloway, who is the Office Administrative Supervisor. So Brett Hales and Kim Sorensen are presenting.
Thanks. Diane, you there, Kim?
I'm here.
You're always here. You're always there and everywhere. I'm telling you, you can. Diane said this month is April, and I thought, no, it isn't. It's March. Oh, yeah, it's April. I get it. Okay. April, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Thanks for being here with us, April. April, you have been with us about 10 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be 10 the end of November.
End of November. Well, we sure appreciate you. And we've started this program years ago to recognize people like you. And we are just very, very grateful. On the screen, it shows that we will be, did Kim already give you your gift certificate and your certificate yet? No, I think the certificate's still here.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I think that's on our desk here. I just signed. So we're excited to be able to present this to you. We appreciate you. We'll have Kim talk a little bit about you, but just as a council, we are excited that we have this program and to recognize you as a Senior Recreation Center Office Administrative Supervisor. And Kim will have a lot of good to say about you. So thank you, April, for all you do for our city. And you will be getting that. It's a $50 gift card and a certificate. And I always kid around and say the most important thing we give you is that we put your name on a plaque that'll last the next 100 years in our new city hall. So we're excited to recognize you, April. And then Kim, let's turn the time over to you we'll just turn it over to you. Thanks, April, for being with us.
Okay, thanks, Councilman Hills. So let me just start out by thanking the council for this wonderful thing you do of recognizing Employee of the Month each month. I know that it's one of my favorite things when it's our department's turn. And as I think about April, the cream rises to the top, and April is on top. We don't have enough time to talk about what all April does for the city, but let me just share a little bit about April. She is very, very thorough. Everything she does is done right the first time and done right on time. If she doesn't know how to do something, she won't tell you that she doesn't know how. She'll just figure out how to do it, and it'll be done right. The seniors at the Senior Recreation Center love her. The employees love her and respect her and know that she is a team player. Speaking of a team player, during COVID, it has been a very difficult time for all of us, but our Senior Recreation Center has really had some trying times and some hard times. And April has been one that has stepped up. During COVID, she's helped with our museum, with our Cultural Arts Division cataloging, and she's currently, we are without an office supervisor at the Parks Department, as our office supervisor took another job and has been gone for about a week. Well, April is now working at the Parks office, fulfilling that duty 2 or 2.5 days a week. So she's doing the job of 2 employees right now. And we haven't skipped a beat. April is just wonderful. And I appreciate April. Let me just share before I turn the time over to April. Let me just share a little bit about April personally. She calls herself a book nerd, so I'm not surprised at the background that we see at April's home right now. If you know April, she always has a book in her hand. I think I mentioned that she has a degree in history. She's an avid quilt maker and is involved in a quilt club. And April is really cool. And the reason that I can tell you that she's really cool is she owns a Corvette that's sitting in her garage. So with that, I just want to thank April for the person she is, the employee she is. She is a wonderful asset to Murray City and also a true friend. So April, your turn.
Thanks, Kim. I'm just grateful to be able to work for Murray. I kind of joke that I have a lot of ties to Murray. I was born in Murray. I went to Cottonwood High School, so technically I went to high school in Murray, and now I get to work for Murray City, and it's so much fun. And I love Parks and Rec, and I love my seniors, and I'm just greatly honored, and thank you all for this honor.
All right, thank
Back
you.
to you guys.
Thank you so much, April, and thanks for all you do for Murray City. We really do appreciate you. Okay, are there
Thank
any
you.
other comments or? Okay, now we'll go to our last.
1 minute. I just want to thank April for taking care of Kim because God knows he needs it. So you're doing a great job.
I'll keep doing that.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, now we have the presentation of Mayor Blair Camp's 2021 State of the City Address.
Hello, I'm Blair Camp, Mayor of Murray City, and this is my 2021 State of the City Address. Now, I don't expect as many views as Baby Shark Dance, but thank you for watching. One of the responsibilities and opportunities I have as mayor is to provide an annual State of the City Address to share city achievements with the community and outline the conditions of the city. Non-traditional. This is one word that could be used to describe this past year. Non-traditional meaning new and different from an established norm, custom, or method. In fact, I'm delivering this year's State of the City Address in a non-traditional manner. May I begin by expressing gratitude to my remarkable staff in the mayor's office, including Administrative Assistant Kathy Miller, Chief Communications Officer Jennifer Heaps, and Chief Administrative Officer Doug Hill. These are very capable and devoted individuals that do so much for Murray, and I'm so fortunate to have them in the mayor's office. I'd also like to recognize our 11 department directors who oversee the operations of the city within their individual departments. These are men and women who are professional, knowledgeable, and dedicated to our city. City Attorney G.L. Critchfield, Community and Economic Development Director Melinda Greenwood, Finance and Administration Director Brenda Moore, Fire Chief John Harris, Human Resources Director Robin Colton, Information Technology Director Rob White, Library Director Kim Fong, Parks and Recreation Director Kim Sorensen, Police Chief Craig Burnett, Power Department General Manager Blaine Hackey, and Public Works Director Danny Astle. I would also like to recognize our Justice Court Judge Paul Thompson and Court Administrator Karen Gallegos. I also appreciate our frontline supervisors and all of the full and part-time employees that make up the Murray team, delivering services that we provide to the public day after day. Furthermore, I acknowledge and thank the members of the Murray City Council for their hard work and their time invested in performing the legislative functions of Murray City. The City Council has the responsibility of making many decisions. Some are tough decisions and some are easy, but all are important. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank the approximately 75 volunteers who serve on our 12 boards, commissions, and as hearing officers. The service provided by these volunteers is priceless. It has been said that volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once a year, but when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community you want to live in. Our volunteers provide countless hours in improving the city, and I express appreciation to all of them. A year ago, the State of the City address was presented to a packed crowd at the Doty Education Center at IMC. It was teeming with great optimism, as 2020 looked to be a very exciting year for Murray. Well, 2020 did turn out to be an exciting year, but not in the way that any of us anticipated. Although a difficult year, it was a year that Murray demonstrated its resiliency. On March 13th, I issued a proclamation of local emergency in response to the novel coronavirus, or COVID-19. We immediately closed our senior recreation center, park center, museum, and library, and suspended recreation programs. In the coming days and weeks, our park playgrounds were closed and access to our city buildings was significantly reduced. To further cope with the effects of COVID-19, the city quickly implemented a pandemic leave policy, and telecommuting arrangements were made for employees where possible and practical. Some staggered work shifts were implemented and building entrance restrictions were put into place citywide, all while continuing to provide services via internet and phone. A mask mandate was put in place in compliance with state and county health regulations, and temperature and symptom checks were implemented for all employees at the beginning of their workday. Internal and external meetings were changed to an electronic format. Many of us had never heard of Zoom before the pandemic, and now we have become very proficient in its use. Our staff meetings have all been on Zoom for the past year. Our public meetings, including City Council, Planning Commission, and boards and commissions, have all been utilizing Zoom. Also during the pandemic, the city implemented a temporary suspension of utility shutoffs for delinquent accounts, as well as earmarked over $100,000 for utility assistance through the Utah Community Action Home Energy Assistance Program for residents needing help with their utility bills. Difficult decisions were made, one after another, to cancel events that we enjoy every year, events that bring our community together, such as Fun Days festivities on July 4th, cultural art productions and programs, public power celebration, Arbor Day program, Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and others. Only 5 days after the executive order regarding the pandemic, on March 18th, the 5.7 magnitude earthquake hit the Salt Lake Valley shortly after 7 a.m. Murray staff and emergency responders went immediately into action, assessing the impact of the quake. All city personnel were accounted for in a short period of time. Thankfully, only minor damage occurred to city facilities, and City Hall was closed for just 1 day, reopening after the engineering and building personnel inspected the structure. And Mother Nature wasn't finished. We can't forget the windstorm on September 8th, with hurricane force winds that snapped power poles and uprooted trees throughout the northern Utah and all along the Wasatch Front. Thankfully, the impact on Murray City was not significant compared to other communities around us. In fact, our power department arborists were able to provide aid to other municipal power cities in their cleanup efforts. We were also able to loan some heavy equipment from our public works to other cities. I credit our strong street tree maintenance program as a significant factor in lessening the impact of the storm for us. This tree maintenance plan, performed by our city arborists, keeps limbs pruned away from power lines so that damage during a windstorm is minimized. Also, the protests that took place in 2020 were unsettling, especially those that turned violent. Thankfully, Murray saw only peaceful demonstrations within the boundaries of our city. However, we did have significant damage to a Murray patrol car while assisting the police in Salt Lake City. But more importantly was the awareness and dialogue that came because of the demonstrations. Many members of the community reached out with questions about our policing practices. On June 16th, I issued a joint letter with Police Chief Craig Burnett to publicly address many of those questions and concerns, specifically about hiring practices, complaint processes, use of force, body cameras, and officer training. We also determined to implement a new Public Safety Advisory Board consisting of 7 members of the community to foster understanding and communication between residents and business owners of the city and public safety departments, and to review community needs and concerns, expectations, and responses related to police and fire services. On August 4th, the City Council unanimously voted to create the Public Safety Advisory Board, and after a selection process, the members were appointed on February 2nd. We look forward to their service on this new board. Because of the pandemic, a major challenge the city is confronting is the uncertainty surrounding the fiscal health of the city. The pandemic hit at a time when we were developing the current budget for fiscal year 2020-21. Due to the sudden instability of the global economy, I requested that each department reduce their capital improvement budgets to only include funding for urgent projects while maintaining the level of service that our residents expect. At the request of the City Council, an additional 10% was trimmed from general fund operating budgets. There was no cost of living adjustment for the employees included in the budget, but the employee step plan, which is an important component of a fair compensation program, was funded. Thankfully, the revenues were not impacted as much as feared, and some of the capital improvement funds were reinstated at mid-budget year. I will go into further detail in my budget address in April. I'm very happy to note that the new headquarters fire station at 4848 South Box Elder Street was completed in June and is fully operational. Due to the pandemic, we were not able to have a public open house, so the fire department created a virtual tour. The link to the tour can be found on our website. This fire station is a beautiful state-of-the-art facility that will serve our city for many years to come. Our former headquarters fire station has been demolished to make way for our new city hall, which is finally under construction after many delays. I noted last year that the relocation of the cell phone tower was the last major hurdle to clear before construction of the new city hall could begin. I'm pleased that the agreements were finally signed between the city and cell phone providers. But because of the delays, the new tower is still not completed, although it is under construction. In the meantime, the construction of the new city hall is moving forward as much as can be done with the cell tower still in place. We anticipate the tower will be removed and construction will be accelerated this spring or early summer. The Hanover Street extension between 4800 South and Vine Street has been completed, and the area is rapidly transforming. It's exhilarating to see this work finally moving forward. The new City Hall will consolidate staff functions to improve customer service, include moving the Community and Economic Development Department to the new building, and will provide much needed and updated space for the police department. It will also provide a public plaza and public parking. Our current City Hall, built in 1939, is very tired and requires constant and expensive maintenance. It is anticipated the new City Hall will be completed by October 2022. Last year, I reported that we were in the process of preparing a request for proposals to develop the commercial area from 4800 South to Fifth Avenue on the west side of State Street, from State Street to Poplar Street. We have completed that process and are currently in negotiations with the selected developer, Edlin & Company, to create a new mixed-use project on this property. This project will bring new life and vibrancy to this site and to our downtown area. We anticipate that a development agreement will be finalized by the end of this calendar year. Another casualty of the pandemic is the historic Murray Theater on State Street. The city had received a grant from the Salt Lake County Transportation, Recreation, Cultural, and Convention, or TRCC, tract funds of $3.6 million as a matching grant for the renovation and restoration of the theater, and preliminary work had begun. However, the pandemic severely impacted the collection of tourism taxes, causing Salt Lake County to suspend funding for all track projects for 2020 and 2021. The result is that the renovation of the Murray Theater is indeterminately postponed. I am also disappointed to note that after nearly 60 years in Murray, the R.C. Willey store at 900 East and Winchester Street has closed its doors for good. I'm sad to see this iconic retailer leave our city. Unfortunately, we have witnessed other large retailers closing their doors. Shopko, Kmart, Toys R Us, Sports Authority, and 24 Hour Fitness are examples of big box chains that have ceased operations in Murray over the past few years. The changing retail climate is impacting these properties as owners and investors are seeking ways to repurpose these parcels. The interest in mixed-use projects containing commercial and residential uses has skyrocketed over the past couple of years. Several projects in mixed-use or MU zones are in various stages of planning and development. Granton Square, on the site of the former Murray Elevators at 84 West, 4800 South, is an example of a nice horizontal mixed-use project that has recently been completed. The Kmart site at 4600 South and 9th East has been approved for construction and will begin very soon. This project is another horizontal mixed-use development with commercial buildings on 900 East and residential units to the west. Furthermore, a 130 residential unit mixed-use project with 6,000 square feet of commercial space has been approved for 184 East Vine Street on the former site of the Mount Vernon Academy. And likewise, another mixed-use development is in the works on the former Bonneview School site at 4984 South Commerce Drive. Owners of properties at the former R.C. Willey site, the Point at 53rd Shopping Center at 53rd and State, the Sports Mall at 5445 South 9th East, and the former Shopko store at 5959 South State have either expressed interest in or made application for a zone change from commercial to mixed use. This has resulted in a brief 6-month temporary land use regulation or moratorium on mixed-use projects, while concerns over infrastructure in these areas, as well as a review of the city general plan, can be addressed. This temporary land use regulation was passed by the council on February 2nd and can be in effect for no longer than 180 days. Other noteworthy projects in progress include the Abington Assisted Living Center on the former Hillcrest Junior High School site, which is nearing completion and will have residents by this summer. On the north end of the former Hillcrest property, the new Town Place Suites is also nearing completion, and in fact, has a temporary certificate of occupancy. The Scandinavian Design Furniture Store in the former Toys R Us location was delayed due to the pandemic, but still plans to open this year. In addition, Security National's second building is under construction at 53rd South and I-15, which will contain 180,000 square feet of Class A office space. While there are many good things happening in Murray, I know that there have been several small businesses and eateries that were not able to make it through the pandemic, and we feel their loss. However, most have been resilient and have been able to adapt to new ways of doing business. The premier shopping mall in the state, Fashion Place Mall, has worked hard during the pandemic to remain relevant and open as much as possible. Shoppers are returning and most of the stores are open. It is gratifying to see the crowded parking lots. The Shake Shack at Fashion Place opened their doors for the first time during the pandemic. Last year in the State of the City address, I noted that the Murray Park pavilions were being demolished and rebuilt. Pavilions 1 through 4 were completed in time for the summer season, and Pavilion number 5, the largest pavilion next to the park office, was demolished at the end of the summer and is currently in the process of being rebuilt, along with a small restroom to serve the visitors. The pavilion is expected to be completed in time for the summer season. Our parks have been extremely busy in the midst of the pandemic, and our recreation staff has strived to coordinate as many recreation programs as has been allowed under COVID restrictions. I think they've done a commendable job. The hardest hit facility in our recreation system has no doubt been the Senior Recreation Center. The Senior Center has been closed for over a year now, having been the first to close and the last to reopen due to the vulnerable population that it serves. For many of the participants, the Senior Center has been their only social interaction. Our Senior Center staff has implemented various programs and activities that could be enjoyed via the internet or in person where social distancing was possible, such as parking lot bingo, evening concerts, history and art Zoom classes, curbside lunches, and support phone calls. I believe that we will be able to open the Senior Center in the coming months as the vaccination counts increase. The Murray Library has also worked hard to remain relevant during their closure by providing curbside drop-off and pickup, making online programs available for all ages, and implementing the ability to check out materials such as audiobooks online using an app. This is the type of innovation that we've seen across all of our departments in keeping business going even when doors were closed. We continue to increase our communications with our residents through social media and technology. I am pleased with the implementation of our new monthly e-newsletter, which launched in May. This newsletter allows the city to reach our subscribers via email in a timely manner at a very low cost. I encourage all residents of Murray to subscribe to our e-newsletter by going to the city website and selecting How Do I, and then clicking on Read the Murray City e-newsletter. You'll find up-to-date information about what is happening in Murray. I conclude my message by summarizing the state of Murray City in the following 3 points. 1, during the uncertain financial condition created by the pandemic, all city departments were able to reduce their budgets while continuing to provide quality municipal services to its residents and businesses, demonstrating fiscal responsibility as no layoffs were necessary and all financial obligations of the city were met. 2, Murray City was adaptable and prepared to respond during crisis situations and willing and able to assist neighboring communities. And 3, Murray City has demonstrated once again that we are resilient and self-reliant during trying times. As a city, we will continue to plan for the future, invest in infrastructure, and strive for continuous improvement. We will continue to face the challenges head-on that result from growth and change, and we remain committed to public safety. I'm cautiously optimistic as we dive into 2021, knowing that Murray City has not only survived, but thrived even during hard times for the past 118 years. I express appreciation to all of you who have been diligent in helping to control the spread of COVID-19 by following the guidelines of our state and local health officials. I'm looking ahead in anticipation of the return of our community events where we can once again join as friends and neighbors. Coretta Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." I thank each of you individually for doing your part in helping to keep Murray City a great place to live, work, shop, and enjoy recreation. I look forward to a great future for Murray City.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. And we will continue on. We're at the citizen comments part of our program. And Jennifer.
We have one citizen comment that I'll read into the record. It's from William Cotter. I just wanted to email you to let you know that I'm on board with the townhomes on Bullion Street. My daughter Lisa lived in a neighborhood of townhomes in West Jordan, and they were actually nicer than the homes around them. Traffic is always going to be a problem on this street, and we knew that when we bought this house. That's why it was cheaper than living in the middle of Walden Hills. It really won't make much difference if there are 80 townhomes or somebody puts in 30 single-family detached homes in the same space. Both will add cars. Traffic increased when Weldon Ridge was developed and again when the Ivory homes went in by the Fish and Game area. Our kids grew up on this street, and they learned that you don't go into the street when they were very young. It's not a tough concept for them. I don't think we should do the red curb on the south side of the street because any overflow parking that might occur would then be on the north side of the street. I would like the townhomes to be styled a little better to fit with the neighborhood houses around them. Nothing dramatic, just aesthetic. As to those who think drug activity and other crime would occur in the park areas, how do we know now what's going on by the vacated satellite dishes? Somebody brought up using the park areas as RV and boat storage areas. But that would look horrible, and what would keep out drug dealers from that area? What about theft and vandalism to the RVs and boats? I can just imagine if all the catalytic converters were to go missing from all the RVs. The Zoom meeting seemed to be all hostile when the whole purpose was to learn about what was planned. I felt sorry for the developer as he was overwhelmed with such negative comments, especially from those who don't even live near here. Anyway, those are just a few of my thoughts. Thank you. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, now we're at the consent agenda, which is to consider confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Connie Fong to the Shade Tree Commission for a term to expire on June 30th, 2022. Mayor Camp will be presenting. Mayor?
Thank you. I'm always amazed how we continue to get such good people to serve. And in this case, again, I think we have a perfect candidate to serve here on our Shade Tree Commission. And at the help with the recruitment from our library director, we found Connie Fong, who will be appointed to the Shade Tree Commission from March 16th, today, to June 30th to finish the term of Jim Hendrickson, who recently passed away. If you had a chance to look at Connie's resume, you will you'll see what I'm talking about as far as being the perfect fit. Okay, she worked for Glover Nursery. She loves gardening. She's a member of the Juneau Gardening Club, and she likes to plant her personal vegetable garden and her flower gardens, and an avid listener to local radio gardening shows and gardening podcasts. And she attends gardening classes through the UU. And this one is the one that really got me. She said, "My favorite COVID-19 activity has been to drive around neighborhoods looking at different plants, shrubs, trees, and landscape designs." Now, there's someone who loves trees and beautification, right? So I think she will be a great asset to our Shade Tree Commission, and ask for her approval this evening for Connie.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. So I will take a motion from the council.
I'll move that we approve the confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Connie Fong to the Shade Tree Commission for a term to expire on June 30th, 2022.
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hells,
Aye.
Ms. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
and Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay. Continuing on, we have no public hearings, no business items. So we are at the mayor's report and questions.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of things this evening. I know that you received, the council received this information in the council communications on Friday, but I wanted to make sure that it was on the public record, acknowledging that the city has received a payment of $77,156 from Utopia, which was partial repayment of the operating expense money that was loaned to them a few years ago, I think about 5 years ago. This is half of the amount. The other half is scheduled to be repaid in next budget year. So I thought that would be good to be on the public record, because the public is very much aware of those funds that we loan to them, and that is coming back. And of course, that is not the bond payment money. It'll be many years before we see that, but it is important that we are receiving funds back from Utopia, and I think that's very positive. They're doing very well right now with the growth. Secondly, I wanted to let you know that the library is now accepting walk-in customers utilizing an on-the-spot reservation. In other words, they are still only allowing 20 people in the library, but rather than having to reserve ahead, if there is space available, you can walk in and have an instant appointment, if you will. That's, and of course they'll also accept the reservations in advance as well. So that's a good thing. The leisure pool at the Park Center is temporarily closed due to a maintenance issue. Will be repaired as soon as possible. And here's another sign of spring coming. The park restrooms will be open this Saturday for the season for public use. They're opening earlier than usual because of the nice weather that we've been having, mild temperatures. So that's always a nice sign of spring. So that's all I had for this evening. I answer any questions you might have.
Questions for the mayor?
I have a question. It's ominous. My question is, with the bill from the legislature with the COVID end date of the mask mandate going away April 10th, will any of the city public facing areas like the library be asking for mask wearing, or will they be going away with the mask mandate at the state level?
That's a great question, and it's a question I wish I could give you a really straight answer, but
that's okay. We're
having discussions as recent as this morning about that very thing. We're not really sure what's going to happen between now and then. There are some that feel like it's too soon. We don't know what's going to happen between now and then as far as counts and those kinds of things. So I don't know is the answer to your question, but we are watching it very closely. It's very possible that we will not require the mask, but it's also possible that we will, because we don't know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't. So more to come on that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, and I appreciate it being a month out almost that the decision has been made. As someone who's not eligible to be vaccinated yet, I'm definitely appreciative of anyone still wearing masks, while those of us who aren't eligible yet have time to get that done. So thank you for the consideration.
All right.
I just want to commend you on your report. That was really good. I appreciated that.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, we will adjourn. Thank you.